Just get in the sun.
Camera adds 10 pounds.
Good thing he's only got one camera. Oh, bang! Hey everybody, I am here with a good buddy and associate of mine, Doug Smith of Stratis Financial. He is here today to talk with us about what's going on in the mortgage world. Where interest rates at? Everybody says that interest rates have gone up.
You know, we've seen rates jump up, depending on the loan program, the lender, and all of that, somewhere between 0.75% and 1%.
From when?
From late last year.
Okay.
And
so that's a short amount of time.
It is a short amount of time, and we saw a fairly dramatic jump up. A lot of that happened in early January as fears started to come into the market and the world about inflation. And you know, the media makes a bunch out of this. Everybody who shares information with you has something that they're trying to sell you on.
Right.
And drilling down to get the real information is kind of key. What we've seen is rates go up about 1%, almost entirely off of fears around inflation. Thanks for having me, Dan. Really excited to be here. We already screwed that up.
We'll do it again. I was really choppy. Why do rates go up when inflation goes up?
A great many of us don't really know what it means, but it scares us.
Yeah.
Much like my dogs when they hear the vacuum cleaner. What inflation is at its basic level is the price that people pay for goods and services going up and things becoming more expensive. And the fear is that if things become more expensive too fast, people will stop buying and the economy will just stop in its tracks. Much of the inflation is coming from the cost of transportation. Right now, there's a bit of a pinch. As that pinch eases, there's a lot of reason to believe that this inflation won't be as fundamentally long-term. Rates need to go up to offset that because banks have choices on where they put money. If money's not buying as much, they need to charge more when they lend.
Right. Right here?
Yeah, that would be best.
When buyers hear that rates have gone up, that can strike fear in a way and be worried that a home's going to become too expensive. But what you told me before we met today is actually it's not affecting a borrower's payment as much as you might think.
Let's say that the high end of rate increases that we've seen on loan programs is about 1%. That means that a purchase package that had total payments of $5,000 a month late last year, that same purchase package would cost about $5,400. Unless that's the $400 a month that really is just going to make it that you can no longer survive, it's not a reason to hold back from making a move like this, because people will say, oh, I'm going to wait for rates. We will never outsmart the market.
The reality is in a price range like that or above, most likely, it's not going to keep somebody from buying the house they want.
That's correct.
I know those guys. All right, so as we all know, the market is highly competitive if you're a buyer. You know, when someone's getting financing, they need a third-party appraisal. Are you seeing appraisal issues with the appraiser having a hard time bringing it in at the agreed upon value?
We're not seeing any overt surprise appraisal problems.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times what makes a property more valuable is its uniqueness, which can make it a little tough to appraise.
Right.
And one of my trite sayings is that markets look forward and appraisals look back. An appraiser has to look at sales that have already happened, and in a rising market, that means that they're lagging behind a little bit. You know, you make an offer in March.
Right.
You're closing in April. By May or June, the market will have caught up such that quite often what we're seeing is people who were scared to death at the open of escrow feel like geniuses by the end.
I can tell you're dressed up nice. You must have appointments today.
It's not even a logo t-shirt.
I noticed. I get asked, is it a good time to buy? But I'm sure buyers, when they come to you to get qualified, they want your opinion as well. What are you telling your clients thinking about buying right now on whether or not it's a good time to buy?
What I always tell my clients is it's a good time to buy when you're ready, when you love the property, and you feel like the numbers are enough of a make sense proposition for you. It's going to be a little uncomfortable financially.
Yeah.
You don't ask your 401k to grow without putting money into it.
Right.
With respect to that, once you're in, go all in. This is not a market in which to test the market.
Right.
If you love the home and you can afford to live there, when you start speculating what are rates going to do, what are property values going to do, you're letting external factors drive one of the most important factors and decisions in your life.
We're big on encouraging people to look long-term, and historically, real estate has been a great investment. I will also touch on the idea that rates were a lot higher 10 years ago. When I bought my first house, they were 7, 8%. And you're telling me now they've gone up from December, but they're still in the 3s?
3s and 4s depending on the
Yeah,
program.
so I'm very bullish on being a buyer if you're looking for the long term. I just think these rates are gonna go up, and I think that we're gonna wish we had bought more property. I don't know how you feel.
I feel completely in agreement with you on that. It's a long game, and if you love where you live,
Right,
your whole quality of life is enhanced.
right.
I mean, look at us.
Yeah.
Look at where we live.
Yeah,
20, 30 years ago, who would have seen that coming? And it was
Totally.
because we made a move
right.
and we made something happen.
That was amazing. We got some great nuggets out of that. And I just wanted to say thank you to Doug Smith, Stratis Financial. We'll put his contact information on the screen. And I can't wait to actually have you back. I'd love to dive in again on more in-depth topics and the numbers. You love that kind of stuff.
I love that kind of stuff. I love talking it over with you, Dan, because we both have that unquenchable curiosity.
Yeah.
And we always wind up teaching each other stuff and have a few laughs along the way.
Yeah.
And when you take your work seriously
Yeah.
and yourself lightly,
Yes.
good things have a way of happening.
The thing I love about you is, and the way you do your work, is you care about the client, right? You put the client first. You're not just trying to slam them into something. And you and I are aligned that way. And I really, really like working with you.
And the feeling is so mutual.
We'd love to hear from you guys. If you want to reach out to either of us, our contact information is going to be below, and let us know if we can help in any way.